All right, man. Torture Talk. Like, share, subscribe to the page. Hit the thumbs up button if you like the content. If you don't, hit the thumbs down. YouTube is not paying me, so I do what I want. All right, man. Hove, Jay-Z has made some bold claims, bold statement from Jay-Z himself. Hove. Nobody wants to be on that stage. So I'm going to play the clip. It was from Clubhouse. Jay-Z said this. I think he was in Alicia Keys' Clubhouse or somebody's Clubhouse where they was talking about Alicia Keys' new album. And the verses came up and Jay had this to say.
Stage with me. I mean, this. I ain't gonna lie. No disrespect. Everyone's amazing and done what they done. No one can stand on that stage with me. I'm just telling you guys the real.
I feel you.
There's not a shot. There's not a chance in hell that anyone can stand on that stage with me for I don't know how long it is. 2 hours, 1 hour, 2 hours.
Right.
Look,
Hey.
you gotta stand in front of the Grammy Family Freestyle Live. No one's ever even seen me perform that. Like you got to stand in front of that. That ain't gonna never happen, man. Let's move on from verses and let's get back to the this Keys album.
But first, before we move on from verses, we definitely.
All right, man. Jay-Z. All right. So let's break this up. I mean, let's talk about this because here's the thing. I think people are getting the verses confused of what it really is. Even Jay-Z. Even him. The verses is about two artists who are playing 20 of their hits or something that they're tied to, whether it's writing, production credits, anything that they would say that they had a part of. Right? Jay-Z is saying that nobody wants to stand across from him. He would smoke anybody, nobody wants to stand across from him. Now, to be fair, what else does Jay-Z supposed to say? He calls himself Hova, the God MC, like Rakim. Jay-Z, Hove. You know what I'm saying? What else is he supposed to say if he says that? Now, let's talk about who I think can beat Jay-Z in a versus. The first person I'm going to start with is Drake. I think Drake would beat Jay-Z in the verses. Given the right setting, I think that Drake has more timeless hits than Jay-Z right now. I think more people recognize more Drake songs than Jay-Z. I can damn near put on any Drake song and people would know what it is. So I believe that Drake can beat Hove in a versus. Now here's the thing. This is what I want people to understand about this whole dynamic, right? Before I go any further. This is not outlandish talking when I say that people can beat Jay-Z, because these people are either just as successful or probably a little more successful than Jay-Z when it comes to certain things. So I think that this is an argument. It's kind of like the Any Given Sunday type of argument when it comes to Jay-Z or whoever. Because Jay-Z could probably beat whoever, and then vice versa. They probably can beat him. So let me go into the next person. The next person I think would beat Jay-Z is Puffy. Now, I know a lot of people saying, well, Puff Daddy, how is it that you're saying that Puffy can beat Jay-Z? That's Puffy. He's not an artist. Puffy has two rap albums, right? Puffy's an artist. He's a producer, but he's an artist too. And I think that he has a lot of ties to hits. So I think that he would beat Jay-Z. The next person I think would beat Jay-Z, and I'm going to stick with the producer / artist, is Dr. Dre. Now, people might say, oh, Dr. Dre is not an artist. Dr. Dre has 3 rap albums. Actually, 4. He been rapping. Now, whether Jay-Z wrote his raps or not, it doesn't matter. Let me be clear for all y'all people out there that keep using the argument of Jay wrote for people. To be clear, it doesn't matter if Jay wrote the song for the person. That doesn't mean anything. This is not a personal thing when it comes to verses. It is what it is. Y'all got to stop making this into some personal thing. It's like, oh, well, the reason why is because of this. No, it's not a personal thing. The verses is based off of hits and music that you're tied to, that are hits. You can use anything that you're tied to. So I'm going with Dr. Dre. I think Dre would beat Hov. The next person I think would beat him is Lil Wayne. Now, Lil Wayne and the next person would be my 2 picks to go head up with him. Now, only reason why I would pick Lil Wayne's because I think Lil Wayne to me would be a better matchup for him than the next guy that I'm going to say. So Lil Wayne to me has more recognizable hits than Jay-Z. He does. To me, he does. I think that if you put them both somewhere, yeah, it's going to get a little bit dark for Jay. Now, let me stop right there again. I keep seeing people saying stuff like, "Oh, well, if you believe, just revoke your hip hop card. If you believe anybody can beat Jay-Z in the verses, just what?" Let me just say this. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Just shut up. Shut the fuck up. Again, these artists are at a high caliber. It doesn't mean that Jay-Z is such a high caliber that he can't be touched. Nobody can touch Jay-Z. And some of these people have more awards and more accolades than Jay-Z. Have more hits than Jay-Z, more number ones than Jay-Z. How can you say that this person is like, get the fuck out of here? We're talking about gods fighting amongst gods. This is not like somebody like I would say somebody like a Talib Kweli versus a Jay-Z. It's not the same. Even though Talib's fire, but it's not the same. You can't say that Drake can't beat Jay-Z when Drake has more hits than the Beatles. Like, get the fuck out of here, dog. I'm not trying to hear that shit. Whether you want to say, oh, it's because the reason why is because the age demographic. So what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's the age demographic. It don't matter. It don't. So let's just get that out the way. And the last person I think would beat Jay-Z in the verses is Kanye West. I think Kanye West has too much in his arsenal to go against Hov. Here's the thing that I think people are trying to do. Because Hov is a rapper, they want to say, okay, well, he has to stay in that category. Whoever he battles can't use production credits. No, it doesn't work. That's not the rules of the game. You can't make up your rules for yourself. You got to be honest. Be honest. The rules are Jay-Z, Kanye West. Kanye West can use anything that he's tied to, and Jay-Z can use anything he's tied to. Simple as that. Now, if Jay-Z's tied to certain Biggie songs, or if he's tied to certain things, yeah, he can use that. He can use some of Beyonce's stuff. He can use that. He's on that. And Kanye West can do the same thing. Whatever he's tied to, he can use that. So let's be clear here. We're talking about people fighting amongst each other, the gods fighting the gods. It's not, oh, this guy is here and this guy is here, or he's here and he's here. Like, no. All right, so I'm gonna say the people that I believe that would give him a run for his money. Don't necessarily think that these people would beat Jay-Z, but I think that they could pull it off. They could pull it off because I think that they're gods too. And the first person I'm gonna start with is Busta. Now, I'm not a big Busta Rhymes fan, never been, but I do recognize that Busta Rhymes has out a number of hits, and he's tied to a lot of music. And his performance is crazy. Even though I really don't like a lot of his stuff, I recognize that he has a lot of hits. So I believe that he will give Jay a run for his money. And I think that actually would be a pretty good versus. You know what I'm saying? They both popular. They both listening. That would be pretty good. The second person I think will give Jay a run for his money is Rick Ross. Now, Rick Ross, another person that has multiple hits, multiple songs that people recognize, multiple things he's tied to. I remember at one point, Rick Ross was jumping on everything, smoking everything. Simple as that. So I think Rick Ross will give Jay a run for his money. The next person I think will give Jay a run for his money is Eminem. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, get the fuck out of here. That's no, hell no. Eminem will get washed. He will get smoked. There's no way. Da-da-da-da-da. Oh my God. The only people he got behind him is the white people. That's the only people that Eminem got behind him is the white people. Well, I got news for you. White people are the only ones that buy the music. So stop this with the Eminem white people thing. Just stop it. Just fucking stop it, man. Just stop it. I do believe, given the right setting, Jay-Z and Eminem would be an epic battle. If, first of all, to do a thing like that, you can't do that in a small hall. You can't. And I want y'all to stop claiming Versus as a black thing. It's like, oh, Versus is just for the black people. Oh, Versus is just for the black people. It's like, no. Versus is whatever these dudes want it to be. So if they want to decide to jump into another genre, like rock or whatever, which I think that they should do, which would be crazy classic to me, if they did Rolling Stones versus the Beatles or whatever, the remaining living Beatles, come on, bro. Out of this world crazy. So, but it depends on the setting with Jay-Z and Eminem. Because if they did that in Bangladesh somewhere, M's getting Jay the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? But if they did it somewhere in Madison Square Garden, then Jay's going to get M the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? But a concert like that or a versus like that, you can't have that in a small part of Madison Square Garden. That would have to be in a Superdome or a stadium. It can't be just in something small. Nah, this would have to be that can hold 80,000 people. You know what I'm saying? It has to be. It is what it is. So I think that he would give Jay a run for his money. And I think I had another person, but I don't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, I believe that those people will give Jay a run for their money. Now, Jay-Z. Now, the Nas, I'm going to speak on the Nas and Jay-Z argument. And let's be clear here. If they did this in a small room, Jay and Nas did this in a small room, Nas is beating Jay. Nas is beating Jay. And the only reason why Nas is beating Jay in a small room is because Nas is more connected to the people on the ground. I would say that. I would say that people are a little more in the streets. They recognize Nas a little more than Jay because they feel like Nas is cut from that cloth. Like, oh, Nas is cut from my cloth. You know what I'm saying? And another battle I heard was Jay-Z versus LL Cool J. It might sound funny, but that may be the most realistic one out of all of them. It might be. That may be the most realistic one out of all of them. Now, people might laugh, But that may be the most realistic one. Out of every battle that I just mentioned, him versus LL may be the most realistic one. You can't sleep on L. And the reason why I say you can't sleep on L, because L has hits from the 80s and the 90s. Not to say Jay don't have hits too, but Jay does. But I think L, he's cut from that same old school cloth before Jay. So I think a lot of people that like LL, they'll come out and they'll support him. I would give that to Jay though. So those are the battles I'm saying. Now, if they did it in a stadium, Nas, Jay's gonna win because Jay has a lot of commercial hits, much more bigger records than Nas. But I do believe that if they was to go back and forth like that, you know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Torture Talk. Like, share, subscribe to the page. You know what it is.